What would you do if you had the chance to make a change at Quinnipiac? Would you try to get a swimming pool? Would you put a Dunkin' Donuts on campus? Or would you make tangible goals that would make the overall Quinnipiac community a better place? If you chose the last question, you are just like one of the 41 elected members of Quinnipiac's Student Government Association. Each of these members reaches out to the student body to try and find concerns and then solve them. They hear requests like the ones I mentioned earlier all the time, and students don't really understand why they can't be solved and don't understand what our student government does. I'm here today as a member of Quinnipiac Student Government to tell you about what we do and how we do it. First, to understand how we get the job done, I'd like to tell you more about the structure of our student government. We are made up of 41 elected members, and out of those 41 members, there are 5 executive board positions: the Vice President of Public Relations, the Vice President of Finance, the Vice President of Programming, the President of the Student Government Association, and the Vice President of Student Concerns. Each of these executive board members has their own committee that meets every week. I personally am part of the Public Relations Committee, who meets every Monday night. Being on the Public Relations Committee, we are directly responsible for letting the student body know what exactly the student government is doing each week. So that's something that we came up with this year is QUSGA.com, which every Friday releases a Friday FYI, which explains what we're doing, what we've worked on and succeeded in doing in the past, and also things that might be coming up in the future and things that we want to see solved. So every week this is released on Fridays, and it's been a big deal this semester getting people to go on and look at that website. And you're also part of a class cabinet. So I, being a junior, am part of the junior class cabinet, and there's a freshman class cabinet, and so on. We each meet every week on Wednesdays at 4:15 to gather information and to tell each other what we've been doing that week. And we also have advisors that help us guide us along the way and can lead us to what administrators we have to go to. So now I'd like to tell you how we actually solve concerns. First, we really like to make good relationships with administrators. Each member of the cabinet is a liaison to each different branch of administrators, so I am actually the liaison to the facilities. So I meet when we have to set up for an event or have some problem with trash bins on campus or something like that. So we need to make relationships with administrators so that we can actually get our concerns solved. And to also gather these concerns, we do things called dorm storming and wine and dines. During dorm storming, each member of the cabinet pairs off and goes straight to the dorms and just knocks on doors to ask people really what they would like to see improved in the school and what they would like to see changed. And during wine and dines, we sit down in the cafeteria with people we might have never met before, and ask them their opinions on the school and try and get ideas for concerns that we can solve and things that they would want to see changed at Quinnipiac. Finally, make meetings with administrators to try and solve the problems that we have come up with during our dorm storming or during wine and dines, and then we have to write proposals to the administrators as to why we think this would work and why we think this could make Quinnipiac a better place. And finally, once we succeed, we have to follow through with our proposal and make sure that it is still in place. About 2 weeks later, you should always go back and make sure that everything is still how you wanted it to be and that everything is solved. So now that you know how we work and how we solve concerns, I want to tell you a little bit more about what student government has done so far. The student government from 2006 is actually the reason that we have the library open 24/7. So the next time you're in the library at 3 a.m., you can think back and thank that student government. We are also responsible for the creation of the Legend and the Creed, which you might remember back from orientation when you signed the book, and it's really just the basis of our school spirit here at Quinnipiac. Also, 2 years ago, we were successful in extending the Bobcat Den hours, or the RAT as you guys might know it as, on weekends till 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturday nights. So people getting back from going out or doing whatever have somewhere else that they can go and eat instead of just ordering a pizza. We also are the reason that there are shuttles going from York Hill to New Haven on Thursday and Friday and Saturday nights, because before 2 years ago they would have to go down to Mount Carmel to get the shuttle from Mount Carmel to New Haven instead of just straight from York Hill, which is really convenient for the people living up there. And also, one of the biggest things is that we got we were successful in getting to wear honors cords at commencement. Before last year, before the commencement 2012, we were not allowed to wear our honors, the clubs and organizations where you can wear the cords. You weren't allowed to do that until last year when we wrote a proposal and brought it to President Leahy, and we were successful in getting the Honor Society cords to be worn at commencement. And also, as you probably have heard about, the new shuttle schedule that has been going on, which was just recently enforced at the end of November, is now a much more organized way so people can know what time and where they can get the shuttle quickest so that they can get to class on time. So now that you know about some of the things that we do and how we do it, if you want to get involved, every year we have elections at the very end of March or the first week in April. There's a whole week of campaigning. You've probably seen signs for people to vote for this person, Facebook events, and it's a really exciting time around here, and campaigning is just a huge deal, and you see signs everywhere, and everybody's elected on one day via DQU, and you get called that night if you won. It's really exciting, so I encourage you all to get involved if this sounds like something you would like to do. So student government does work really hard at what they do, and sometimes it's just not visible to the student body. I challenge you to stop complaining about what is wrong with our school and try to do something about it. Get involved. And I'd like to leave you with an edited quote by John F. Kennedy: "Ask not what your school can do for you, ask what you can do for your school."